All right. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Deep Stretch. Super excited to have you all here. My name is Stacy, and I am one of our team members at NWABA. Right now, I'm just kind of walking on my mat, and I'm just kind of making my steps a little bit bigger, almost like I'm about to march in place. And just kind of bringing our attention to our mat and to our body. It's nice to always kind of take 1 minute to just say, okay, I'm here to work out right now. Everything else outside of this 1 hour that we have together is going to just kind of be put in a box on the shelf, and I get to spend time with my body and my friends for 1 hour. So right now I'm just kind of shaking out my arms, shaking out my legs, and just kind of really just rolling my shoulders forward and backwards, and just kind of getting ready for this nice, really good deep stretch. So when I teach a deep stretch, and you guys can just keep shaking things out, rolling shoulders, you can do some arm circles, just kind of choose your movements of kind of where you want to go. When I do deep stretch, I typically do 1 to 2 minute holds. And if we kind of repeat a stretch in a different movement, I might do that a little bit shorter, but you'll also hear me count down a lot. So I'll say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I try to really focus on breathing and making sure we're having everything connected as we're moving. If you have any questions, of course, you can always ask me. So we're going to start with those feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And I want you to point your toes out a little bit. So maybe at a 45-degree angle. Good. And just put a nice slight knee bend in your knees. And you're just going to kind of let that tailbone, just hang. So I want you to anchor those legs and those feet, having, good balance on both feet. And then just let your tailbone hang a little bit. You're going to reach your hands up towards the sky. And you're just going to keep trying to reach those fingertips to the sky a little bit more. Sometimes I like to say, like you're climbing a ladder. You're going to reach those hands up each ladder rung, just stretching that spine from your tailbone all the way up to your top of your head. I usually say tip to tail or tail to tip, and that's just your tailbone to your head. And I just want you to reach and stretch those fingertips a little bit more. And if you reach your left arm up and then your right arm up, you might get a little extra stretch in your back lungs and in your back. And you can go ahead and look up to the ceiling as you're doing that, breathing in and out. Good. On the next inhale, exhale, you're going to go down into a forward fold, nice and slowly, listening to my cues. So inhale, exhale, hinge at the hip and reach those fingertips forward, stretching and reaching out away from your glutes, slowly coming down till your nose is towards your knees and your head is hanging down, and you're just going to relax there. Now, you can let everything settle and let gravity do the work. You can shimmy your hips back and forth in that forward fold, but you're just breathing. And I want you to really inhale so that your belly becomes like a balloon. And then as you exhale, let that space between your spine lengthen as you're in that forward fold position. Good. On the next inhale, exhale, we're slowly going to come up, tucking from our tailbone first. Inhale, exhale, tuck that tailbone in, slowly come up, each vertebrae by vertebrae, stacking on top of each other until you're standing. Beautiful. If you need to shake out your legs, you can. That's completely fine. And adjust them in whatever way you want. We're going to do some side bends and side stretching. Today, what we're going to do is some of the similar exercises from standing and then also sitting, because I want you to feel how it feels different. And then also how we can go deeper after we've done it for a little bit. So our first sequence, if you will, is going to be some side stretches. So I want you to have your feet wider than shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent. Take that right hand, reach it over your right ear, and I want you to reach towards your left side as you bend towards the left. Your left hand can be relaxed at your side. It can also be holding at your belly button, whatever you prefer. And you're going to use your breath to just hold this stretch for a deep stretch. Keep those knees slightly bent. Some people like me who have knees that hyperextend naturally, I want you to try to keep those knees slightly bent as you're stretching, reaching over your body and breathing. On each exhale, can you go a little deeper into that stretch to over your head towards your left side? I'm almost like a teapot. It's like I'm tipping towards my left. And we're just holding. Good. Reaching that arm away. Keep that pelvic floor tucked in. So I don't want you to have a C curve in your back. I want you to have your pelvic floor tucked in so that your core is engaged. Good. Give about 30 more seconds with this stretch. About 30 more seconds with this stretch. Just reaching to the left side as we're standing. Knees are slightly bent. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back up to center. You can shake everything out. You can even move your legs if you want. So that was a good first stretch. We are now going to make sure that our feet are wider than shoulder width apart. My toes are slightly pointed out. A nice knee bend. Tuck that pelvic floor in, engage that core. Take my left hand, reach it over my left ear towards my right side, and my right hand can hang out towards the floor, or I can wrap myself and bring my right hand across my belly as I'm reaching and stretching towards that right side with my left hand. You can let your head hang. You don't have to feel like you have to hold your head up. Just let your head hang and let that gravity do its work. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit. It's a little bit slightly distracting for me. Good. I almost just pressed leave the meeting by accident. So we're just stretching and reaching to that side. Good. We've got about 40 seconds left. Let that head hang and then use the breath as you inhale. And then as you exhale, let that gravity do its work. Really stretch and reach. It's not just going towards the floor. You're reaching away from your body. Good. 15 seconds.
Stacy, yes. It's Carol. Could you please mute me?
Of course.
I got construction going on. Thank you.
No worries. And if just to make you feel better, we didn't even hear it. Good. Go ahead and reach and stretch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shake it out. I want you to take your feet now and put them a little bit closer together, so about hip width, and I want your toes to be pointed forward. We're going to do another forward fold, but now that we've done a little side stretch, we're going to add a little flair to it, if you will. So my knees are slightly bent, excuse me. I'm going to inhale, big inhale, and as I exhale, bring those hands up over my head, reaching and stretching. Good. Now I want you to slowly go onto your tippy toes if you're able. You can also use a chair to keep your balance or a wall. Good. Gently bring those heels down and then go ahead and reach forward, hinge at the hip, and slowly come down into that forward fold. Now our back has started to open up a little bit, so I want to see if you feel a little different. With your feet wider or together, the depth of your forward fold might change, but I want you to focus on that breath. Inhale, let your belly fill up like a balloon, and then as you exhale, completely deflate it, and then push your fingertips towards the ground a little bit more, or push your nose towards your knees a little bit more. So use that breath as a tool to go deeper into that stretch. Now, if you have a little bit of a belly and maybe you feel like that gets in the way, sometimes mine does, you can always just really widen your stance. If you're like, I don't feel like I'm getting enough, you can take your feet out really wide to be able to get in that forward fold a little bit more. So feel free to experiment. Shake your head yes. And I want you to grab both elbows now. So grab your elbows opposite elbows. So my right hand went to my left elbow, left hand went to my right elbow. And just gently push your right elbow to the ground and then your left elbow as you're in that forward fold. And just feel how that opens up your upper back and that space between your shoulders. Go ahead and drive those elbows towards your feet. Inhale and exhale. Good. The next inhale, exhale, we're going to slowly come up. Inhale. Exhale, slowly come back up. Beautiful. All right. We're going to do what I call the rag doll. It's kind of like a mix of like a Tai Chi move and then also lymphatic system wake up, but it's really nice to get the rotation in our torsos, and it's a little bit different than doing like core twists. So what you're going to do is your feet are going to be firmly planted and you're going to point those toes forward, and your upper body, so from your hip up, is going to just rotate towards the left, and I'm going to let my hands hang at my sides. And basically I'm just going to rotate back and forth, allowing my hands to come with me, and just like almost like a windmill, I'm just going back and forth as I'm twisting to the left and then twisting to the right. And you can go as fast or as slow as you want, but you can let gravity or that centrifugal force kind of move those arms back and forth as you're going to the left and then going to the right. And what I'm doing, and what they tell you when you're doing like a lymphatic wake up or just trying to get that lymph node, like that lymph system draining, is you can use your hands and kind of tap your body as you're rotating back and forth. So you can tap different parts of your body. You might hear me doing that right now. And it's just a good way, again, to like, it is morning for some of us. As you're back and forth, it's a good way to just open up that spine. We are going to be doing a little bit more spinal rotation when we're on the ground. So this is kind of just getting us ready for that, to make sure our spine is fully functioning. Good. For about 10 more seconds. If you can go a little bigger, go ahead. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. We are going to turn to the short end of our mat. So if you were kind of on the long end, we're going to do a little bit of a lunge series. Now for this lunge and hold series, we're going to do 1 minute, because we're going to do a different one when we get down to kind of our mid-level range on the mat. So getting deeper as we go, but just waking up the body a little bit different today. So I'm on my mat. I'm going to put my right foot forward in front of me. If you want support, you can support yourself with a wall. So my right foot is in front of me, and my left foot is behind, and my heel is flat on the ground right now. So I want both feet flat on the ground. Now you might feel this, I already do, in my left calf. What I want you to do now is just bend your right knee and just go into a nice lunge. So bending that right knee, I have my left leg extended out behind me, and I'm just doing a nice lunge hold. Now you can go as deep as you want, but what I want you to focus on is keeping that left foot, that left heel down as my right knee is bent. You don't want your knee to go past your toes. So just be aware of that. You can keep your hands on the wall if you wish, or you can keep them on your sides and have good posture, looking straight through and straight ahead. You can push your shoulders back, making sure that our shoulders are not in our neck. So I always like to say, drop those shoulders down. And you can also have your hands at your sides. And we're just breathing. Good. Wonderful job. So we're going to do this movement on this leg, and then do another variation of a movement that we'll do again right after this, just in a slightly different way. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you need to shake it out, feel free. Now, if going on your knees is tough, you're going to do these movements the same way when we go to our next set of movements. So that right leg is going to come out again into that lunge position. And I want you to put that left leg back behind you. You can use a wall if you want. Now, instead of lunging forward where your right knee bends, I want you to extend your right leg so your leg is completely straight and push those heels back and push those hips back towards your left foot. And then pick your right toe up towards your nose. So basically we're doing like a hamstring stretch, and you can just lean forward. So instead of lunging forward, you're leaning back so that your right toe is pointed toward your nose. And you're just kind of doing a nice hamstring stretch. And this one, you can lean forward. You can use a wall if you want to anchor yourself. Good. So the other one you might have felt in your calf or in your quad, because we're getting a little workout in. This one you should feel in your hamstring, which is behind your knee. Good. 15 seconds. Perfect. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and shake out your leg. We're going to do our left leg now. So for that left leg, if I'm standing on the short end of my mat, I'm going to step out with my left leg just in front of me. I'm going to take that right leg behind me and keep my heel down. And then I'm just going to go into that lunge. So pushing my left knee into a 90-degree angle, making sure that my knee doesn't go over my toe. And you can go as deep as you want. So if you want to go deeper into this stretch, in this lunge, you can just move your feet farther apart. So a nice little stretch for that knee. You can again put your hand on the wall if you want to go deeper or just to stabilize. Now with stretch, you want it to be slightly uncomfortable because you want to feel that fascia releasing. You want to feel that lactic acid breaking down, almost like a melting feeling. So as you go for longer amounts of time, after about 30 seconds, you start to go deeper. At 2 minutes, you're really going into a deep stretch. I want you to focus on your breath. And then imagine any of that tightness melting away like ice. So just melting away. Good. And then keeping that heel down. You can also do little movements to see what feels good on stretching. It's not always necessarily about always getting that stretch perfect. It's just about feeling where in your body you might need a little more work. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you need to walk that out, go ahead. My right calf is really tight. Wow. All right, we're going to go into that standing hamstring stretch. So if I'm standing on the short side of my mat, I'm going to walk out with my left foot. I'm going to point my left toe towards my nose, and I'm going to bend down and grab my toes and just pull it towards my face. I think I did a much better description on the second one, so apologies. Sometimes I'm in my brain too much. And also, if you have a wall, you can always put the pad of your foot on the wall and then just do a nice calf stretch, leaning forward. Nice, good stretch. Perfect. Good. Now we're going to keep stretching and breathing as I just kind of explain what's going to happen next. We're going to go down on all fours into that tabletop position, like cat-cow. When I say go, not yet. Still breathing, giving ourselves a few more minutes, not minutes, about 15 more seconds on this stretch. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. We're now going to take some nice breaths and we're going to go into a tabletop position on all fours. So we're going to go on all fours on the mat. We are going to do some cat-cow because we love cat-cow. It's such a good spinal movement. And then we're going to do another variation of that lunging that we just did for another minute. And I'm going to explain to you kind of the difference of what happens when part of our body's anchored versus when we're standing. So in that tabletop position, we're going to tuck our chin, push and round our shoulder blades and spine up to the ceiling. And we're going to tuck our pelvic floor in, and we're going to just breathe for cat pose. So tucking my chin to my chest, my spine goes up to the ceiling. Good. And my pelvic floor is tucked in, just like it looks like I just scared my cat out of the window. And you're just going to breathe here. I want you to hold cat. And as you're doing that, if you want to wiggle around a little bit, see if you have any tightness in your back. If you want to try and reach those shoulder blades and push that spine up higher, go ahead and do that. Using your breath as a tool. Good. About 10 more seconds, and then we're going to transition to cow. Good. For 5, 4, 3, inhale. As you exhale, let your belly hang. You can have that C curve in your back. Your head is going to go to the ceiling as you just let go into cow position. So as a cow, cows have udders and they hang down. This is the part where we let our belly hang down, and we really don't try to control it. You can breathe, but don't try to suck it in. Just let your belly go and let it stretch down. That's the point of cow, is just, we're always trying to hold things together. Cow is allowing us to just let our belly go. Just let it loose. Looking straight up to the ceiling. Good. About 15 more seconds, and then we're going to transition from cat to cow using our breath. Now you can do this at your own pace. Some people like to do an inhale, exhale in each pose, and then transition on an inhale, exhale. Some people like to just go inhale one pose, exhale to the other. So you choose, but I do want you to use your breath. In 3, 2, 1, inhale. I'm inhaling to cat, and then I'm exhaling to cow. I'm just going to keep doing that, but I'm going to do what feels right. I'm going to wiggle my spine around. Do what feels good. My hips are a little tight today. Good. Beautiful. I want you to take your knees out wide in this position and tuck those heels together. We're going to go into some child's pose. I want you to press those hips towards your heels. So I'm just using my hands as anchors, pressing my hips towards my heels, and I'm looking straight through the ground for child's pose. You can put your elbows on the mat if you want to, using your elbows as an anchor to push those glutes towards your heels. You can rest your head on the mat if you like. This is another one where you can put your knees out as wide as you want and let that belly hang between your knees and your legs. And we're just breathing. Again, any tightness we feel, just imagining it melting away or spreading like Swiss cheese. So if you've taken classes with me before, I talk about fascia a lot. And our fascia gets really, really tight when we don't stretch or when we're stressed. And so we want our fascia to look like Swiss cheese. So if you make bread or sourdough, if you're pulling apart the bread and holes come in it, that's what you want your fascia to look like. You want space so that it is functioning optimally. That's where our mobility comes in. From here, we're going to inhale and exhale to our belly. So inhale, exhale, push your hips down towards the mat and go ahead and just lay down on the mat. Good. You can give our knees a little bit of a break. You can place your hands on either side of your armpits. We're going to do a little cobra pose. And again, just like cow pose, we want our belly to hang. And so if your belly's truly hanging and you're not engaging it at all, you should feel a little stretch in different parts of your belly. So go ahead and listen to my cues for this one. You're going to look straight through the mat. Inhale, As you exhale, I want you to press from your hands, push your elbows in, then press your chest up towards the ceiling. Go ahead and look towards the ceiling. Now, if you want to walk your hands back a little bit, you can. And I want you just to feel that stretch in your lower abdomen and maybe even your upper stomach. And here's where I want you to just let your belly out. Inhale, and then exhale. Almost push your belly out and feel how that feels. Do you feel a stretch anywhere? Inhaling and exhaling, looking up at the ceiling. Good. You can adjust your hands to push those shoulders higher if you like. Now on the next inhale, exhale, you're going to lower yourself, keeping your elbows tucked to your sides. Inhale, exhale, slowly come down. Good. We're going to rest here for a second. That one can be pretty hard to do to hold for 2 minutes. So we are going to do it again, just one more time. And again, as we do this, I want you to really focus on feeling your belly stretch. So some people like to say, fill up your belly like it's the biggest balloon ever. And as you deflate it, feel how your muscles in your abdomen might be stretching, maybe your obliques, maybe your front abs, just really allowing it to relax so you can feel where it might be tight. Tuck your elbows into your sides. Inhale. As you exhale, press your shoulders up towards the ceiling, looking up towards the ceiling, letting your belly hang. So you have that big C curve in your back. Good. Push those shoulders up a little bit more. Let that belly hang. Inhale, exhale. Big inhales and exhales. So you might feel like, am I over-exaggerating my breath? That's actually how I breathe a lot of time. One, because I hold my breath a lot. It's an issue. I've had it since I was an athlete in college. Like I just always hold my breath. So even in classes, but even when I'm doing other things, I just breathe really intentionally, and it might sound obnoxious, but it's doing what I need it to do. I'm working with my breath. On your next inhale, exhale, you're going to lower yourself and lower your chest to the ground. Inhale. Exhale, slowly come down. Good. All right, we're going to go back up to all fours, so that tabletop position. And this is where we're going to spend some time on our knees. Not a ton, maybe about 4 minutes. But if you need to do these exercises like we just did standing, you can do that. These are some of our kneeling lunges. You're going to take that right leg, and I'm going to just bring myself up off my hands. So right now I'm on my knees and I just have a nice high chest. I'm going to take my right leg and put it out in front of me so that it's at a 90-degree angle. Good. From here, I'm just going to push my hips towards my opposite wall. Push my right knee and my left hip towards the opposite wall. So forward, not towards my heels, but towards my toes. And I'm just going to lean back a little bit to get a nice little stretch in my left quad. And we're just breathing. Good. Again, if this has come comfortable on your knee, you can do the exact same stretch we just did on the wall, which is just that lunge. But this time, instead of kind of focusing more on the lunge, you're going to push those hips towards the wall. Feel free to make micro movements or move around a little bit to get a deeper stretch. If you feel something tight or uncomfortable, that is your cue to breathe into that space, allowing for it to stretch and melt away. So again, you can imagine sourdough bread or bread with holes in it or Swiss cheese, or you can imagine it melting away like an ice cube, all that tension. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to do the opposite. So we just pushed our hips forward. Now we're going to push our hips back, which is going to extend our right leg so that our right leg is mostly straight. You can lift your toes up if you want towards your nose, but you're just going to lean forward as your hips push back. So again, getting a nice stretch in that right hip and that right hamstring. My hands came down so that I have one hand on either side of my leg, but you can really do it whatever way you look or whatever way feels good. And then you're going to look towards the floor. So I don't want you to look up. I want you to look towards the floor. Just holding that. And again, just breathing. As you exhale, can you go a little deeper? Finding that small discomfort and working it out. Good. Good. For about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have one more stretch with this right leg. You can adjust as needed. You're going to take the outside of your right leg, so your outside of your ankle, is going to do a figure 4, and you're going to put it in front of your left knee. So basically making a figure 4 with your right leg so that that outside of your right ankle is just in front of your left knee. And you might have to move a little bit so that that works. You might have to adjust. Some people are flexible enough just to stick that right ankle right in front of their knee. And once you do that, I want you to sit back, shift your weight back towards your right hip or towards like your right glute. And you're just going to hold this figure 4 position and breathe. Again, deepening that hip stretch. Beautiful. Allowing that tension to melt away. Any emotions or tension that come up, our hips hold a lot of emotion. So if you feel like you need to breathe through it, just really big breaths. A lot of people actually, when they deep stretch their hips, can feel big emotions. Sometimes they want to cry. That's a big one with the psoas too. Just let it flow. If your tears are coming out, even if you don't feel anything, sometimes it's just a really big tension point. And feel free to rock back and forth to get a little bit deeper into that hip. If you find a spot you're like, ooh, that's tight, just hold it right there. Good. We're still holding this. You guys are doing awesome. This is one of our longer poses, or holds, excuse me. 15 more seconds. Use that exhale to go a little deeper. You can let gravity do the work or sink that chest towards that right hip, putting more weight on it. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly unwrap yourself and go back to that tabletop position. Good. If you need to shake anything out, you can. We're going to do the left side now, and then we'll be on our bottoms, and then we'll be on our backs to finish class. We got about 20 minutes left. Hopefully you feel some real relief in that right leg. All right, I'm on my knees right now in that tabletop position. If knees are uncomfortable, feel free to stand. My chest is up. I'm just on my knees. I have nice, good posture. I'm going to take that left leg out in front of me into a 90-degree angle. Beautiful. And we're going to now just gently push that left knee and that right hip towards the opposite wall. And just push those hips forward and then lean back slightly, looking at the ceiling. We're getting a nice, good stretch. You might feel that the hip we just did the figure 4 stretch on is not as tight as when you did this on the other side. So that is purposeful, and hopefully that is the case. And if that's not, that's okay. We're going to stretch it a little bit more. So if your hip opened up, you can kind of feel that it's like, oh, maybe I can actually push my hips a little bit further. Good. About 30 more seconds. And this is what mobility is, friends. It's just doing these movements, a little bit of them every day, and just keeping up that strengthening and lengthening. for 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to now push those hips back, extending that left leg and just getting a nice, good hamstring stretch. You can have one hand on either side of the leg. You can point your toes towards your nose or towards the ceiling. You can also reach your head down towards that knee, leaning your weight forward. Whatever's going to give you that good hamstring stretch. And we're just breathing. Good. Allowing space in the body so we can get all optimal mobility. Any tightness melting away. Using our breath. Good. 10 more seconds. Then we're going to do that figure 4 stretch. Three, 2, 1. Now take that right ankle and put it in front of your left ankle and put it in front of your right knee. And you're just going to make a 4 with your left leg. And you can kind of just wiggle your way down until you put some weight on that left hip and that left knee. And just start to let it open up by stretching. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can kind of move around until it feels like you're getting a good stretch. Good. And remember, we hold this one for a little bit longer. So if it starts to get easy, move around a little bit so that you can get some more stretch. Good. Shifting that weight to that left knee and that left hip. You can even rock around a little bit if you need to. Finding that tension. Acknowledging it and then letting your body just let it go. Good. Perfect. Use your breath, inhales. On the exhales, go a little bit deeper. Pull that chest towards your knee, letting gravity just help you along the way. "15 more seconds. This is a good hold, everybody. Great job. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. We're going to now sit on our bottoms on our mat and take your legs out nice and wide into a V stretch or a big wide V. Go ahead and march those heels back as much as you can to get that stretch in our inner thighs, or scoot those glutes forward. Whew, great work. You guys did some really awesome hip flexors and openings. What we're going to do right now is just sit up nice and tall. My hands are relaxed on my knees, I want you just to reach that head up towards the sky and then just feel your tailbone anchored in the ground. So just elongating that spine again, and we're just going to breathe. Inhale, exhale. Getting ready for this last sequence of exercises on the mat. Good. All right, from here, I want you to take that right hand, reach it over your right ear, and then we're going to reach down towards our left side, towards our left toe. You can point or flex your toe. My left hand is reaching towards my left ankle, and I'm actually going to grab my left ankle to pull my left ear and my right hand a little bit deeper into that stretch, and you're just going to hold. So again, we did this standing earlier, and now because we're seated, you might find that it feels different, and so once one of our parts of our body is anchored, it kind of allows us to be more intentional about how deep we're going into a stretch. It just allows for more space. It's almost like you're thinking about one thing instead of two things. So it's really great to kind of do these stretches in different ways. Good. Go a little deeper for the last 15 seconds if you can. Let your head hang. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back up to center. Beautiful. Take that left hand, reach that left hand over your ear towards your right foot. And just go ahead and rest into or lean into that stretch. You can let your head hang as you're reaching towards that foot. You can pull your toes toward your nose if you want to, or pull your nose toward your knee. Letting gravity do the work. Just feel that stretch deepen. Good. Using our breath. Can you go a little deeper for the last 20 seconds? For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back up to center. Now, if you're not feeling as much of a stretch in your inner thighs, let's walk those heels out a little bit to adjust our V stretch. We're going to do one more forward fold from this position, and then we're going to go into a couple other stretches from the seated position. So right now I want you to just sit up nice and tall. I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together and then push your shoulder blades down because I want you to have a nice long neck. Good. And just breathe in this position. Filling that belly up, letting it all out. Filling up through your nose. And then exhaling through your mouth. On your next inhale, exhale, we're going to bring those hands up to the sky and then slowly go into that forward fold. Inhale. Exhale, bring those hands up and hinge at the hip, reaching out away from your body towards your toes. And just reaching and stretching until you can come forward in that forward fold, relaxing those hands on the ground. Once those hands are on the ground, I want you to walk your fingertips away. So try to see if you can go any deeper into that forward fold stretch by walking those fingers away and then just holding, letting your head hang between your hands and just breathing. Good. We're just holding. If you want to point and flex your toe, you can. Up to you if that feels good. But just holding and stretching. On your next inhale, exhale, you're slowly going to come up and then put your feet into butterfly position. Inhale. Exhale, slowly come back up, and I'm in a nice good posture. I'm going to take both heels of my feet together, pushing my knees out. I'm going to pull those heels towards my glutes for a nice butterfly stretch, and we're just going to stay here. And for this butterfly stretch, you can take your elbows and push your knees closer to the ground if you like. You can lean forward as well. You can pull that nose towards your toes. Just kind of move around in the butterfly stretch to see where you need it. Good. for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and shake out those legs. We're now going to go onto our backs on the mat. So if you can go ahead and lay down on your mat, we're going to do a couple exercises on the mat. Good. So the first one we're going to do is happy baby pose, and that's going to just be where we grab our toes and and pull our knees towards our chest, but have our knees out nice and wide. And we're going to do this to massage our lower back a little bit, but also to get a nice good stretch in our inner thighs. So go ahead and grab your toes. If you can't grab your toes, that's okay. Just grab behind your knees, pull those knees out wide, and then go ahead and just rock back and forth in happy baby pose. You can even smile if you want to. Smiling is a good exercise as well. Even if it's forced, it's kind of funny. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Breathing. Beautiful job. Just holding it, massaging that lower back by rocking back and forth for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently put those feet down. All right. You're going to take that right foot, that right ankle, and place it on your left knee. So right now, both my feet are flat on the ground. I'm going to take my right leg and bring it over to my left knee for another figure 4 stretch. Now, to make this more challenging, you can pull your right leg towards your face, kind of keeping one hand on your knee, one on your ankle. And you can actually use your left leg to push that leg closer to your face as well. So just a nice figure 4 stretch. And if you're getting enough of a stretch with your foot planted on the ground, that's okay too. Just kind of getting one extra deep 4 stretch in there. Or I'm sorry, one extra figure 4 stretch in there. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both feet on the ground. You're going to take that left ankle and then place it on your right knee for the opposite side, figure 4 stretch. And as we're on the ground, I don't want you to forget about your breath. I want you to have big breaths, not shallow breaths. Drop those shoulders if they've creeped up towards your ears. Drop your shoulders down so you have a nice long neck. Big breaths. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to put both feet together. And I like to say, like, you're almost pretend like there's a zipper from your big toe all the way to your glutes. So squeeze those knees together. I want you to put your hands out to the side in a T. I'm going to drop my knees towards the left, my torso twisting, and I'm going to keep my hands in a T, and I'm just going to look towards my right hand. My knees are going one way, my head is going the other. Inhale. As you exhale, come back to center. My hands are still in the T. Drop your knees towards the right and look towards the left. Just letting everything settle. You don't feel like you have to hold anything in place. Just let it settle. Let gravity do the work. Come come back to center, bring those legs out and extend them out so that there's no knee bend. And we're just going to breathe here for a second, and then we're going to take our right leg. Oh, just breathe, sorry. I want you to take your right leg and lift it up to 90 degrees. And now I want you to take that right ankle and drop it over your left leg. So we're now doing a full leg twist. Same thing, instead of both knees going, we're just doing our right leg to the left side. Try to keep your right shoulder into the ground as you're rotating your torso. And just breathe into that stretch. You can look to your left or to your right, whatever feels like you are releasing more tension. After with each exhale, letting that spine sink into the ground. Inhale, exhale, come back to center. My legs are fully extended out. Take that left foot up to the 90 degrees and then go ahead and rotate it over your right leg, rotating your whole torso, trying to keep that left shoulder now on the ground to get a nice, good stretch. Beautiful. Using that breath. Filling up your lungs, no shallow breathing today. And exhaling. And as you exhale, can you sink deeper and deeper into that mat, providing less and less tension as your body melts. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to the mat, and you're just going to lay on the mat. And we're going to put our palms, facing down. If you want to have your knees up, you can. We're just going to be here for about 1 minute to 2 minutes, and we're just going to breathe. We're going to bring our attention to our toes, and I want you to just ground your toes in the ground. You can kind of scratch the floor with your toes. Feel if there's any tension in the tops of your feet. Anything that needs to wiggle out, you can go ahead and wiggle it out. Now bring your attention to your ankles. Do you want to do some ankle circles? You can. Does it feel tight or does it feel good? If you feel a little tightness, feel free to move or shift your weight around to get any last little bit of tightness out of your ankles and the tops of your feet. All the while breathing. Now let's bring our attention to our Achilles tendon, which is just connects our ankle and our calf, or connects to our calf to ankle to foot. And just go ahead and point your toes and flex your toes and see if that feels good. If there's any more tension, do I need to stretch this out? You can. And then as you're pointing and flexing your toes, what does your calf feel like? What does your shin feel like? Good. Bringing attention to our knees, our quads, and our hamstrings. Just moving them about. They feel nice and loose. They feel like they need a little more stretch. Still breathing. Bringing our attention to our hips. I'm just wiggling them around a little bit, letting them sink into the mat. You can flex your pelvic floor and let it out. Then we come to our belly and our abdomen, not only our front, but also our back obliques. Just wiggle around a little bit. How's it feeling there? Coming up to our chest and our shoulders and our arms. You can do some little stretches, just kind of wiggling that spine a little bit. Everything feel good there? Go ahead and move your head to the left and the right. You can look up, you can look down, just feeling how that head feels. Good. And we're going to take 3 big breaths in. Oh, sorry, 3 inhales and exhales. So inhale, exhale. On this next one, I want you to fill up your lungs as much as you can. We're going to hold it for 4 seconds. Inhale. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now push it all out. All right, on this last one, we're going to do a 4-4-4 breath. So inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and give your body a little bit of shake. And if you want, you can give your left shoulder a high five, your right shoulder a high five. You can also give your muscles a kiss if you like to. Everyone knows I love to give a little muscle kiss at the end of my classes. And that is class today, everybody. I know we ended on the mat. We ended laying down. I don't do that often, but it felt right today. So I hope you enjoyed class. I hope you feel like you have stretched deeply. And thanks, everybody.
That was wonderful.